ethylene. It is one plant growth regulator and a plant growth inhibitor. So it is involving in the promotion and inhibition also, in the plant growth promoter and plant growth inhibitor, but most of the activities or functions are related to inhibition. So that's why it is considered as a plant growth inhibitor. So it is synthesized from the methionine, one amino acid. Methionine, an amino acid. From this amino acid, the ethylene is synthesized. It is a gaseous hormone, mainly the gaseous hormone, and produced from the methionine amino acid. And the physiological effects of ethylene. Here ethylene is showing a different type of physiological effects. First of all, horizontal growth. So the horizontal growth, here the ethylene, it is inhibiting the longitudinal growth. And longitudinal growth means here it is the stem, it is showing the very short stem or the plumule. Mainly in the plumule or in the embryonic stage, the plumule is showing very, it is not showing the growth, or the growth is inhibited. It is plumule, it is radicle. So here the plumule is not showing the growth. Next, transverse growth is promoted. So longitudinal growth is inhibited, and here transverse growth, widthwise growth, transverse growth is promoted. Next, here the apical portion of the plumule, here it is showing the hook-like structure, one hook-like structure. So here three types of responses. Longitudinal growth is inhibited, transverse growth is promoted, and in the plumule here or coleoptile, mainly in the coleoptile, here apical hook is formed. The coleoptile tip, here apical hook is formed. So these are the three types of responses. It is also called as here triple response growth. Triple response growth. So horizontal growth is promoted, longitudinal growth is inhibited, and apical hook is formed in the coleoptile or in the plumule. So it is called as triple response growth. Next one is senescence and abscission. So during the development, here the senescence and abscission, aging process and falling of leaves, it is promoted. So senescence, here aging process, abscission means falling of leaves, flowers, or different plant parts. The falling of different plant parts, it is promoted by the ethylene. Next one is fruit ripening. The fruit ripening is the one important characteristic feature of ethylene. So it is also, it is mainly involving in the fruit ripening. That's why it is called as fruit ripening hormone. Fruit ripening hormone. So fruit ripening hormone, and it is a gaseous hormone. So mainly involving in the fruit ripening. After the fruit formation, it is ripened after some time. After the formation of fruit, here it ripens, but it takes some time. So during the ripening process, here the respiration. So within the fruit, here the food metals are converting. The food metals are converting, and they are involving in the respiration. So the respiration rate is respiratory rate. So it is called as respiratory climactic. This fruit, in the fruit during the ripening process, the respiration rate is rapidly increasing. So the respiratory, it is called as respiratory climactic. Next, breaking of dormancy. The breaking of dormancy. Dormancy is the, it is resting stage. Sometimes after harvesting the seeds, immediately they cannot develop, or they cannot germinate. So here after harvesting and germination between these two, here some gap period is present. So here the seeds are taking some rest. So it is called as dormancy. So under suitable conditions are also sometimes the seeds cannot germinate. So in the dormancy period, some seeds are showing the here dormancy. So pea plant seeds are pea seeds and potato tubers. In the pea seeds germination, pea seeds are showing here dormancy. So but the ethylene is breaking the dormancy in pea seeds. So these germinate very fast. In the presence of ethylene, here germination, seed germination is induced. So in pea seeds, generally they are showing the dormancy. In the presence of ethylene, here they are germinating. Next, potato tubers. In the potato tubers, they are generally stored. So in the storing, sometimes sprouts are formed or bud-like structures are formed. So in the potato tubers, in the presence of ethylene hormone, the sprouting or bud formation. So ethylene, it is involving in the breaking of seed dormancy in pea plant or Pisum sativum plant, and in the potato tubers, sprouting. The sprouting is nothing but the small buds are formed from the here notches or from these portions. It is nothing but a nodal portion. From here small buds are formed. So these develop into, each and every bud develops into one plant, new plant. So it is nothing but vegetative propagation. So in this breaking of dormancy also the ethylene is involving. Next one is elongation of stem in deep water rice plants. Here the rice plant generally growing in the water. So the root system and some of the stem and leaves, so they are present in the here water only, submerged. But here if total plant is submerged, here if total plant is submerged, so no photosynthesis here, or they cannot get sufficient oxygen, so no photosynthesis, and no light, no photosynthesis. That's why here in this the root system and some of the here stem and leaves, all these are generally here submerged. But here due to the effect of ethylene, here the stem portion, stem and petioles, if the petioles are present in some plants, here the petioles are leaves. So mainly the stem portion, it is elongating. It is elongating or it is showing the growth. That's why here the stem and petioles or the leaves are coming outside. So they are present or they remain above the ground, above the water level. Here if the ethylene is not present or ethylene is not produced in the plant, here the total plant is submerged. When it is submerged, so the plant cannot get sufficient here oxygen, carbon dioxide and light. That's why here due to the effect of ethylene, the aerial parts, some of the aerial parts are coming outside and becoming aerial and present or remain above the water level. So that's why here these leaves are coming outside and performing the photosynthesis. So normally, so for the elongation of stem and for the elongation of petiole in the water or rice plants, in the rice plants the elongation here it is involving. Next one is roots and root hairs. So in the root system, if the root system formation and root hairs formation, if the root system is having more number of root hairs, so small root hairs are very small unicellular structures. If the roots and root hairs are more in number, so the absorption area is increasing. So if the absorption area is more, they are absorbing the more water and minerals. So that is beneficial to the plant. So that's why here the ethylene is involving in the root formation. Mainly here more roots are formed and more root hairs are also formed. So increasing the surface area or absorption area and absorbing the nutrients or minerals and water. So that is important for the plant growth. Next, flowering. So in some plants, unisexual flowers, monosexual or unisexual flowers, male and female flowers are present separately. Generally, flowers produce sexual organs within the same flower, bisexual flowers. But here, in some plants like cucurbids, cucurbit is family members. They are producing unisexual flowers, separate male and female flowers. So here, if we use ethylene, or ethylene is produced in the plant body, here with the effect of ethylene, more female flowers are produced. If more female flowers are produced after pollination and fertilization, more yielding, more fruits are formed. If the male flowers are produced, no use. But if more female flowers are produced after fertilization, they develop into fruits. So more yielding. So if we use the ethylene on cucurbids, more female flowers are produced and more fruits are formed. So more yielding we can get. So these are some physiological effects of ethylene. So generally in the plants, on the plants, for the release of ethylene, here one chemical or aqueous solution is used. That aqueous solution is ethylene. So when we use the aqueous solution, ethylene aqueous solution, that is absorbed by the plants and it is reaching or it is transported to every part of the plant, and it is slowly releasing the gaseous hormone or ethylene. So that is inducing this different type of effects. Some are beneficial, some are inhibiting the growth also. But here ethylene is releasing the gas or ethylene hormone inside the plant very slowly. So these are the physiological effects of ethylene. Uses of ethylene. Here fruit ripening, the main characteristic feature of ethylene, fruit ripening. So the ripening of fruits, it is induced by the ethylene. In different plants, here like here tomatoes and apples, here the fruit ripening is induced by the ethylene. So the ethylene releasing aqueous solution is ethylene. Already we discussed here. So that is sprayed on the tomatoes or apples, different type of crops. So that is absorbed by the plants easily and releasing the ethylene, inducing the fruit ripening process. Next one is abscission and thinning. So abscission is, what is abscission here? The abscission is nothing but the falling of leaves, falling of flowers and fruits. Here also it is involving in the abscission, falling or shedding of leaves or fruits or flowers. Here thinning process. Here abscission and thinning, it is generally observed due to the effect of ethylene in cherry, cotton, walnut. So if you use the ethylene, here the fruit drop. Thinning is nothing but fruit drop. The fruit drop is if the fruits are dropped or if the fruits are dropped on the plant body, here very less number of fruits are present. It is a thinning process. So due to the effect of ethylene, all the more number of fruits are fall off. That's why here the thinning is observed, or very less number of fruits are present on the plant. So next one is increase in number of fruits. So as we discussed earlier, here if we use the ethylene hormone, here it is inducing the production of female flowers. Female flowers are produced in cucumbers or cucurbids. So if the cucurbids are producing the female flowers, more fruits are formed. So ultimately that is increasing, that is leading to the fruit growth or fruit formation. So these are the uses of ethylene, fruit ripening. So it is a main important characteristic feature of ethylene, and falling of fruits or fruit drop and thinning process in these plants. The fruit drop is promoted by ethylene, and number of fruits or number of female flowers or number of fruits formation is induced by the ethylene in cucurbids. So it is about ethylene hormone.